video that was captured just today by the ISS, the International Space Station, and we're going to be breaking the news to the world, and we want to thank the person who shot it today and gave us a heads up. But take a look at this. What are we looking at? Captured at 2:26 a.m. International Space Station time, a live feed captured some kind of anomalous craft hiding behind the ISS, and it disappears in the full sunlight spectrum. What the heck are we looking at? This video was submitted to us by Anomalies, The Real Deal. He's got a YouTube channel and he keeps a close eye, and we're happy that he's sharing this video. Right now on Third Phase of Moon, we're looking at this. Once again, as you can see, whatever this craft is, basically dematerializes or takes off. But once again, in clarity, full clarity, we see this craft of unknown origin make an appearance. And that's the solar ray right there coming in from the ISS from below. But once again, we got a good close-up. I'm going to take a photo of the still video image and see if I could enhance it, bring some sharpness and brightness and contrast. I'm going to take a photo origin, make an appearance, and that's the solar ray right there coming in from the ISS from below. But once again, we got a good close-up. I'm going to take a photo of the still video 5 minutes, but as I speed it up, we see this thing rotating. I'm taking another still here, and I've got Brent here, and I want to get his opinions. What the heck is going on? Yeah, Blake, this is some of the best stuff I've seen all year. This is amazing. What is NASA going to say about this? I bet they're going to try to tuck it away as usual, but we're looking at a craft that seems otherworldly. We see edges on it and certain shapes to this craft that doesn't seem to match anything in our arsenal. I like the way this thing just disappears and kind of maybe take off at some extreme rate. What is NASA looking at when they're looking out their windows? Are they seeing this object? Are they going to tell us? Is a big question. Notice this craft kind of reflect the solar flare itself. This thing looks metallic. The underbelly of it, it's highlighting the solar flare panels. Whatever this thing is, I don't believe it's a reflection. What we're seeing is something real, something metallic, something otherworldly. This is out of sight. I gotta say, you've seen it here first on Third Phase of Moon. Make sure if you see this anywhere, tell them where it came from.
Alright, Shalom. Wow. This is Hara 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakar Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nagwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. This is Isaiah 59:19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. All right, and that's what I'm looking at. This word standard. Because right here it says Nawas. All right, Nawas. Nawasa. It says Nawas, to flee, vanish away, to escape, to take flight, depart, to disappear, to fly to the attack on horseback. And that's something. So the Lord gonna show up in chariots, man. When the enemies show up to try to push their martial law and put us in concentration camps, the Lord gonna show up on horseback, on a chariot, as you see in the still shot. All right, and it looked like a paved work. It looked like a mirror. They said, almost like sapphire. All right, because I think this chariot was seen a few days ago. All right, then they had chariot that showed up and supposedly pushed that comet away from the Earth, or away from Venus the other day. Around. There was a giant chariot that showed up that was bigger than the Earth. Ain't that something? I probably show that on another video. But yeah, man, this chariot here looked like to me it looked like something that Silver Surfer would have rode upon. The Lord could have been sitting right there in front of their face. They would not see him. You know, if you don't want us to, if you don't open our eyes to see him. Or it could have been a chariot that he had angels inside of. Right? He said you can see it look metallic. And you can see the reflection of the ISS or whatever. You can see the reflection clearly in it. It was like perfectly clean, man. That was a spotless chariot. You know, with beautiful metallic texture to it. Alright, because we're almost out of here. The Lord said, look up, because your salvation draweth nigh. He comes as a thief in the night. Alright, unexpectedly. This is King David speaking. Now watch this. Because the sorrows of hell are compassing us. And are going to compass us. And the enemy's going to come rushing in like a flood. Check this out. 2 Samuel 22:5. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised, at Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. So shall I be saved from my enemies. Ain't that something? So when we call on the Lord, he's going to deliver us. When the waves of death compass me, the floods of ungodly men, the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The waves, right? So that's what they're trying to do, make us afraid. But the Lord said when they come in rushing like a flood, just like they did against King David with the Philistines. All right. It says here, the sorrows of death, the sorrows of hell compassed me about, and snares of death prevented me. All right. So yeah, man, the snares of Esau and the hell that they're trying to bring. It says, and the dangers in this place. In my distress, I called upon Yahweh. All right, how can we call on him if we never believed? And how can we call on him if we don't call on him in the name of his son, Yahushua? All right, so in my distress, I called upon Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua and cried to my power. And he did hear my voice out of his temple. So the Lord's going to hear our voice out of his temple, which is out in paradise, in the fourth dimension, way above, outside of the universe. You know, you got many universes within this universe. All right, or outside of this universe. Basically, a lot of space, what we call Shemayim, but the darkness out there. It's vast and it's endless almost. But outside of that, you have another realm where the Lord dwells, man. All right, he opened up space like a vault to go into. Look at that. All right, when the Lord comes and visit, or he sends the chariots out, they're sent into the universe and into this earth. All right. 2nd Ezra 16 and 56. In his words were the stars made, and he knoweth the number of them. So he numbered the stars and created all the stars. All right. He searcheth the deep and the treasures thereof. He hath measured the sea and what it containeth. Wow. He hath shut the sea in the midst of the waters, and with his word hath he hanged the earth upon the waters. So the earth is just set in place, in orbit, or in place right there in the Shemayim, right? In the middle of the Shemayim. So he hung the earth on nothing. Whew, right? He spread out the heavens like a vault upon the waters had he founded it. All right, so he spread out the heavens like a vault, and the vault is something that you go into, and you put jewels inside of. You know, like the stars and the sun and the moon, the earth, and the Israelites. So yeah, man, he made the Shemayim like a vault to go into. So he lives outside of that. All right, because the Lord exists in a whole other realm. You got space, what we call space. That's like paradise as well. And upon this earth is supposed to be a paradise. All right, and the presence of the Lord is a paradise. But upon this earth is nothing but hell and death right now. Isaiah 40 and 22. It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, sitteth upon the firmament. All right. So he visits and he'll sit upon the firmament in a chariot, standing there looking at the earth, man. Nobody even know it. And the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. All right, so that's what we call space, all right, or Shemayim out there. So it's like a vault or something to go into. All right, so the Lord leaves the spirit world and comes into what we call space, and then into the earth. All right, so the Lord can leave from the fourth dimension and come into what we call space and set a throne out in the heavens. He can set a throne upon the firmament. All right. It says 2 Samuel 22 and 7. In my distress I called upon the Lord and cried to my power, and he did hear my voice out of his temple. And my cry did enter into his ears, man. So he got a temple out there in the heavens. Then the earth shook and trembled. The foundations of heaven moved and shook because he was wroth. There went up a smoke out of his nostrils, and fire out of his mouth devoured. Coals were kindled by it, man. All right, and that's what the chariots going to do. They're going to blast these devils when they show up. They're going to zap them, just like on War of the Worlds. He bowed the heavens and came down. All right, so he bowed the heavens and he came down, meaning he entered into the Shemayim. All right, and darkness was under his feet. See, he can exist outside of what we call space. Put it like that. And he rode upon a cherub and did fly. So he flies out there in space on the chariot or in the chariot, either one. Because in 2nd Ezra, I think 13, to tell you that Yahweh Shah is going to show up and he's going to fly up on top of the chariot. But first he's going to be in the chariot, all right? Every eye shall see him coming in the cloud. So, yeah, man. So he rode upon a cherub and did fly, man. And that's what we saw, that cherub represents a chariot. All right. It says here, Kawarab. All right, Karawab. And it says a cherubim, an imaginary figure, meaning like a something that somebody can't believe that exists. All right, it's a spiritual vehicle. And it says as guarding as guardians of Eden, an angelic being, as flanking Yahweh's throne. In the Revelations, it tells you, I think in chapter 4, it tells you about the angels around the throne and the chariots, as an image hovering over the Ark of the Covenant as the chariot of Yahweh. Right, so in Daniel chapter 7, it tells you about wheels under Yahweh. Alright, so yeah, man. Let's keep going. And it says that he rode upon a cherub and did fly, and he was seen upon the wings of the wind. And he made darkness pavilions round about him. Alright, we call solar winds. Alright, he flies out there, and and also in this what we call the troposphere, on the earth, in the sky, the Lord was flying there too when he came to meet Moses. All right, where was I at? That's right, man. So he made darkness pavilions round about him. All right, and dark waters and thick clouds of the sky. So he could be sitting right there looking at these people and they wouldn't even know it. That's why the chariots show up and they just back right off. They fade off into the Shemayim, the darkness. It's beautiful, right? So he made darkness his pavilion. All right, a lair, a thicket. Wow, a thicket, right? A booth, a temporary shelter. Isn't that something? So yeah, that's his thicket. All right, you see here it says what? The lion's thicket. And a thicket is basically a dense group of bushes for a lion to rest in. Look at that, man. You got to think about Yahushua, the lion of the tribe of Judah. And he's sitting there in the Shemayim, the same way these lions hide in their thicket or they rest, a temporary resting place. Look at that. That's how he's watching. All right, the lion is coming out of his thicket. Let's get that real quick. This is Job 22 and 12. All right, is not God in the height of heaven? And behold, the height of the stars, how high are they? And thou sayest, how doeth Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai know? He said they're watching everything from the heavens. Can he judge through the dark clouds? See, people don't think that the Lord can see, through the dark clouds out there, or through their roofs. Thick clouds, thick clouds are a covering to him. That's a thicket. That he seeth not, and he walketh in the circuit of heaven. All right, so that's what they think. So check this out. All right, Psalms 104, and let's start from 2. Who covers thyself with light as with a garment, man? So Yahushua is covered with light. All right, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain. All right, Yahweh gave Yahushua the power to do this. So Yahushua created all this. He stretched out the heavens like a curtain, what we call the satin sheet. All right, which is the Shemayim, or the waters. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, man? So he'll set up a foundation like you set up upon earth. And you need ground to set up a resting place or a house. But he set his beams in the heavens. All right, like his thicket that we just read. Who maketh the clouds of his chariot? His clouds, his chariot. Who walketh upon the wings of the wind. All right, so yeah, there you go. All right, so let's get this word. But he said he made darkness his pavilion, man. That word pavilion goes back to thicket. All right, so he chose the heavens to watch the earth from. All right, Amos 9 and 8, the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom. All right. So they would think through the clouds that the Lord can't see us, but he's watching everything. Just like and he's watching the children of Israel too, the elect, as a refiner sits there and watches the purification of his silver. All right. So and when a refiner is watching their silver be purified, they got to snatch it out of the fire at the perfect time. If not, it'll tarnish. All right, or it'll overcook. Jeremiah 4 and 7. The lion, we know Revelations 5 tells us who the lion is, talking about Yahushua. The lion has come up from his thicket. See? He's going to come out of the heavens. The word going to leap down from the heavens. And the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. He is going forth from his place to make thy land desolate, and thy cities shall be laid waste without an inhabitant, man. All right, so the lion has come up out of his thicket. And this time it's talking about Yahushua. All right, so yeah, man. The Lord is showing up unexpectedly and watching everything. That's why seeing them chariots. And it was beautiful, man. It looked like, again, looked like something Silver Surfer would ride upon. Isaiah 2 and 17. But this thing was huge. It was bigger than the ISS. And the emptiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low. And the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. And the idols he shall utterly abolish, man. The lion gonna come up out of his thicket, and people gonna see Revelations 1 and 7. Every eye shall see him, even they which pierced him, right? And they gonna what? They're gonna say, oh shit, what the hell? That's Wisdom of Solomon 5. The strangeness of his salvation. Matter of fact, check this out. All right, this is one of the comments from that video. It says right here, some guy named Anthony. It says, what were all the flashing lights seemingly coming from the earth on the west and east sides of the shield that was deployed? They're speaking about the other chariot. Definitely a strange video. See, it's strange to him, man. Something took place in space we were not supposed to see. And that happened the other day, man. And this is strange to everybody. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, the strangeness of his salvation. All right, so yeah, man. Isaiah 2 and 18, and the idols he shall utterly abolish. All right, once the lion comes up out of his thicket, or the Lord leaps down from heaven, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth for fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. So he's going to rise. The lion's going to come up out of his thicket, man, out of his pavilion, out of the Shemayim, all right, from where he's watching everybody from. Just like that lion was peeking through the, what you call that? Peeking through the bushes, all right, the thick bushes. Matter of fact, I'm going to get another precept too dealing with that. In that day, a man shall cast away his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship to the moles and the bats, to go into the clefts of the rock and into the tops of the ragged rocks, for the fear of the Lord and for the glory of his majesty when he arises to shake terribly the earth. This is a Song of Solomon 2 and 8, and this is a parable about Yahushua showing up to deliver or being with his elect and watching us, all right, the church, the hopeful elect. Song of Solomon 2 and 8. The voice of my beloved, behold, he cometh leaping upon the mountains, skipping upon the hills, all right, in the chariots, and be flying. My beloved is like a roe on a young hart. Behold, he standeth behind our wall. All right, so he's hiding himself. And he looketh forth at the windows, showing himself through the lattice, man. So a little open window, he looking and he watching. All right, and we can see him through the spirit. You see little glimpses of the chariots. My beloved spake and said unto me, Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. For lo, the winter is past, the rain is gone over and gone. All right, so that's what Yahweh Shai is going to say to us. The time of our captivity is over. All right, it's time for us to rise up, the beautiful Israel, and put on our beautiful garments and come away with them. That's Revelation chapter 11, where he said, come up hither. All right. This is Ezekiel 1 and 3, because they said that chariot, you see it looked metallic. All right. Ezekiel 1 and 3. The word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzai, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Kabar, and the hand of the Lord was there upon him. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, meaning out of the sky, and a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, meaning it was moving forward, just like on Independence Day, a giant chariot, group of chariots, and the brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber, out of the midst of the fire. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. All right, and we're all his creatures. Scriptures say that. All right, this is Revelations 5 and 12. All right, or 11. And I beheld, and I heard the voice of many angels round about the throne, and the beast means living creatures, the 4 archangels spoken of in Ezekiel. It says, and the elders, and the number of them was 10,000 times 10,000. That basically 100 million. All right, 100 million angels all around the throne right now, and thousands of thousands, man. So chariots and a bunch of thousands of angels, millions of angels, right? Billions all around the throne right now, saying with a loud voice, worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power, talking about Yahweh Shai, the Lion, and riches and wisdom. And he was given wisdom with the breaking of the seals, right? The revelations, right? That he was able to give to us, and strength and honor and glory and blessing. And every creature which is in heaven, the angels, right? And on the earth, and under the earth, and such as are in the sea, and all that are in them. So everything is his creation, the creatures, right? Heard I saying, blessed and honor and glory and power be unto him that sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb forever and ever. All right, and that's talking about what? The creatures. All right, so that was the focus on that we're all creatures when it speaks about this right here, Ezekiel 1 and 5. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures, meaning 4 living creations, but they're not human, but they look like us. But there's spirit, but they got personality, they got character. You know, talking about the 4 archangels. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. See, period. They all look like men. And everyone had 4 faces, meaning chariots with them, or employments. And everyone had 4 wings. All right, had a fleet of chariots with them. And their feet were straight feet. All right, they were set up for righteousness. And the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot. I mean, it was circular. And it had a cleft in the front of it, like a spaceship. Like you see on, what would that be? Star Wars. All right. So you look at the bottom of a calf's foot, it's circular. And it got that little cleft in the front. And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. All right. That doesn't mean that the angels had cloven for their shoes. You know, you look up into the sky, that's what they were looking at. They were looking up at the chariots. All right. And they had the hands of a man under their wings. The hands of a man, talking about Yahweh. That meaning he was lifting them. He was giving them the power. Right? You would think that the chariots had like a battery or something, you know, or what do you call that? Yeah, like a battery to it, or a charge to it. But really, it's the Most High, the Spirit of the Most High, the power of the Lord controlling them. All right, so that's the hands of a man under their wings. All right, so yeah, man. So they sparkle like the color of burnished brass, man. All right, then you got some other chariots that showed up in Ezekiel chapter 1, and they look like the barrel. Check this out, Ezekiel 1:15. Now, as I beheld the living creatures, the four living creatures, the angels, behold, one wheel upon the earth. So another chariot showed up by the living creatures with his four faces. So this angel had his four duties as well. All right, it had angels and had a fleet of angels with him. And this was Yahushua. The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So they look like beryl, like sapphire. All right, so let's get this right, man, because there are vehicles out there. This is Exodus 24. Where was that? All right, this is the time when Yahushua came to visit Moses. Because that wasn't the Most High, that was Yahushua. Yahushua said it clearly that no man has ever seen the Most High in person and lived. They've always saw the Most High in a vision or heard his voice. And even the angel that was sent unto Abraham, that was Yahushua. The angel that was sent during the time of Egypt, that was Yahushua. And the angel that was sent during the time of Ezra chapter 6, second Ezra, that was Yahushua. All right, and the time dealing with Moses was Yahushua as well. Scriptures say that thy word, let's get that. All right, and this is talking about the deliverance from Egypt. Let's start from here. Wisdom of Solomon 18:15. Thine almighty word leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne as a fierce man of war into the midst of a land of destruction. So he leaped down into Egypt. All right, out of that royal throne, out of the heavens. And that was Yahushua, the almighty word. That's why they call him the Almighty in the scriptures as well, just like Yahweh. He's the Almighty Word. This is Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and where white means dazzling, and glistening, sparkling like a diamond in the sunlight. Behold, a white horse, a water horse. A horse represents horsepower, or something that's ridden, that you have a rider to. All right, but it rides in the Shemayim, so it's a water horse, just like on what's that movie called? My daughters watch all the time, Frozen. All right, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war, man. All right, so yeah, man, and it says right here, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. That's why it said, my beloved is going to come show up leaping upon the mountains and in the hills, meaning destroying all these kingdoms, these nations, with no problem. It's going to be fun to him. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself, and that's third person speaking, meaning nobody's going to know his name but him and the people that's like him. All right, and that's the elect. And their opinion, their witness is going to be the only ones that matter in that day. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of Yahweh. So it's talking about who? Yahushua. So he's the living Word. All right, and the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses. So when he shows up, he's not showing up just in one giant chariot. it's going to be many chariots with him. The host of heaven going to be with him. All right, and the ones that died in the truth. So clothed in fine linen. See, they're going to be having that fine linen and white and clean. All right. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword that burneth coals of fire, right? That with it he shall smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the Almighty God. All right, this is Psalm 68 and 17, because Yahushua was the one that visited Moses. But I just want to read the vehicle that he visited Moses upon. Psalm 68 and 17. The chariots of Yahweh are 20,000, even thousands of angels that we just read in Revelations. All right. And the Lord, Yahushua, is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. All right. So thou hast ascended on high. Thou hast led the captivity captive. Thou hast received gifts for men. Yea, for the rebellious also Yahweh power might dwell among them. All right, check this out. Yeah, man, that was Yahushua. When I seen that chariot, it kind of looked like something off a Silver Surfer, man, or off a Flight of the Navigator. Exodus 24 and 11. And upon the nobles of the children he laid not his hand. Also they saw the Lord and did eat and drink. So they were looking at the Lord, and they sat there and ate and drank. All right, during the time of Moses. And the Lord said unto Moses, come up to me into the mountain, Mount Sinai, and be there. And I will give thee tables of stone, and a law and commandments, which I have written. See, the Lord wrote those. You know, they teach you that Moses wrote them, but Yahushua wrote them with his finger, with his pen, which would be a laser. All right? That thou mayest teach them. And Moses rose up, and his ministers, Joshua, Moses went up into the mount of Yahweh, and he said unto the elders, tarry ye here for us until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. All right, so he set up a council in case anybody had any issues. All right, they can go to Aaron or Hur, or Joshua. And the glory of the Lord abode upon the Mount Sinai. And Moses went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mountain. That was a chariot, man. That's right. Where was it at? All right, so yeah, let me go back up. I skipped the verse I wanted to read. Verse 24 is the point. Exodus 24 and 10. And they saw the power of Israel. All right, so our people have seen Yahushua in his spiritual form. And there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work. All right, so a vehicle in the sky, man. Something that was cut out. A paved work of a sapphire stone. As it were, the body of heaven in its clearness. What we just looked at, that chariot looked perfectly clear, man. Just beautifully clear, man. It said like a mirror. All right, as the body of heaven in its clearness. So it looked like a sapphire stone. All right, so yeah, remember, ended there. And that's what's about to show up. The lion is watching from the lattice, or from the thicket, from the heavens, the dark Shemayim. And he's going to rise up out of this thicket to slay the Gentiles, the nations, and 2/3 of our people that are still in that Gentile state of mind. All right, so with that, I'm going to say Shalom.